As a group, we found interest in this topic of enterprise architecture modeling tools and their relation to knowledge management. We saw an opportunity to combine two successful processes into a symbiotic relationship by using the data collected through the process of knowledge management. We saw the future of EA modeling. The ability to dynamically integrate and incorporate the collective knowledge of the organization to model is an important future trend we wish to explore. So why is knowledge management important to EA modeling? EA modeling is by nature a static practice where data becomes permanent once modeled. Knowledge management can enhance EA by empowering it to break those bonds by creating dynamic models from a central data repository. Without the knowledge resources, EA modeling will be unable to keep up with the ever-changing landscape of today's business world.
This slide talks about the principles of enterprise knowledge management. The concept is taken from a paper written by Gilbert Probst titled Practical Knowledge Management, a Model That Works. So there are 5 principles of enterprise knowledge management, and they are compatibility, problem orientation, comprehensibility, action orientation, and appropriate instruments. So let's look at each principle by itself. The first one is compatibility. The knowledge management solution must mimic the natural work process and culture of the employees. The way knowledge is accessed, captured, or improved should be an intrinsic part of an employee's natural work process. Knowledge management should leverage existing concepts and language that are already there in the organization so that it will fit well with the current culture of the company. Second, problem orientation. Knowledge management should not just be a theoretical concept in the organization. It has to make contribution to solution of concrete problems. The ultimate test for the success of knowledge management concept is how useful it is in practice. Knowledge management system should be able to provide solution in an easy, accurate, and timely manner. Third principle, comprehensibility. The company must choose terms and ideas of knowledge management that are relevant to its success and readily understood across the company. Fourth, action orientation. The knowledge management should enable managers to evaluate the impact of their processes on the organization's knowledge base and should lead to focused actions. Managers need to understand how the knowledge management is being successfully used in the organization and also understand the scenarios where it didn't work well. Last principle is appropriate instruments. A focused intervention needs proven instruments. So the final goal of knowledge management concept is to provide a range of such instruments. The kind of tool employed are less important than their skillful use of these tools. Now let's look at the building blocks of knowledge management. There are 6 building blocks of knowledge management. The first one is identification. The company should know what knowledge exists in the organization before investing in development of new capabilities, or they should know which capabilities should be developed on which level. Most big companies lose track of their internal and external knowledge. This loss of knowledge mainly happens because of restructuring or downsizing of the organization. Effective knowledge management creates sufficient internal and external knowledge and support employees in their knowledge-seeking activities. The second building block is acquisition. Acquire knowledge from other firms through focused strategic acquisition. Acquiring other people's knowledge can build a company's competency very fast. One option is to take over highly innovative company in a desired field of competency. Another is to enter into joint ventures. Knowledge can also be acquired from stakeholder knowledge and also hiring subject matter experts. Stakeholder knowledge is an inexpensive way to get ideas for new and improved products and services. For example, involving customers early in the product development process can generate valuable information about their needs. The third building block is development. Knowledge development consists of all the management activities intended to produce new, internal or external knowledge on both the individual level and also on the collective level. Next, distribution. Knowledge must be distributed and usable across the whole organization. The critical questions are who should know what and to what level of details, and how can organizations support the process of knowledge distribution. Next is preservation. After knowledge has been acquired or developed, it must be carefully preserved. Many companies complain that in the process of reorganization, they have lost part of their corporate memory. To avoid the loss of valuable knowledge and expertise, one must ensure a suitable storage and regular maintenance. The last building block is use of knowledge. The knowledge user must see a real advantage in order to adopt the knowledge. As stated in the previous slides, knowledge management should not just be a theoretical concept in the organization. It has to make a contribution to the solution of concrete problems. This slide talks about how to effectively manage knowledge generated during enterprise architecture activity. We need to document all the lessons learned during enterprise modeling activity. This will enable continuous process improvement and periodically examine the lessons learned and ensure that same mistakes are not repeated again. Next, present targeted commentary from trusted experts on select EA topics so that every team member is abreast of innovation in the EA field. Next, tag all EA artifact for easy search so that less time is spent on searching documents. Create frequently asked questions on common issues and problems in the enterprise architecture modeling. Next, appoint a knowledge management steward to manage and evangelize the knowledge management process. And lastly, promote knowledge management as part of culture and provide incentives for people to collaborate and use the knowledge.
Our last area of findings was in the possible benefits over time. These were found in the Garanson, Kosenki, and Hun's article on the merge feature for knowledge management and enterprise modeling. They describe possible benefits in short, mid, and long-term timeframes. In the short term, we expect to link captured knowledge to existing enterprise models or during the modeling process when possible. Often, captured knowledge resides in its own silo with no links or relationships to the enterprise assets. Once linked to enterprise models that provide the baseline and future state architecture artifacts, the organizational knowledge becomes auditable over time, providing a better historical understanding of the organization. In the midterm, we can use captured knowledge as data points to feed simulated models built using modeling tools such as those for business process management. Additionally, specific knowledge can be made abstracted and more reusable as it is escalated to enterprise awareness through its links to the models. Finally, in the long term, the enterprise can begin self-organizing. This will be due to small software agents that reside across enterprise systems. The agents can apply knowledge in the form of data points to embedded models that leverage rules and algorithms to make changes based on what is fed to them.
All of these findings and the role that knowledge management will play in enterprise modeling have very important impacts. First, the enterprise architect will have a new role. He'll be a curator, he'll be like a librarian. He or she will help other people capture and manage the knowledge so that it's usable by the whole enterprise, thus becoming collaboration, which is the only way that you can assure the knowledge management works for everybody. Second, data will be king. More data, big data is becoming available, and technologies are evolving to use this data in ways beyond simulation and self-organization, reaching into expert systems that leverage human knowledge to learn, and going to be able to provide results for enterprise modeling that today have to be completed manually. And third, EA tools become social knowledge management platforms. Like we said, without collaboration, knowledge management doesn't happen. And being able to leverage social platforms will be the answer to make sure that people collaborate, capture, and organize the knowledge in ways that be useful in the future. So, what have we learned? The enterprise architecture process absolutely depends on the knowledge that people have and how it is used to guide decisions. So, if we don't manage the knowledge about the enterprise architecture will likely fail. EA, and more specifically EA modeling, is based on collaboration, and the same applies to knowledge management initiatives. So we need to make sure that people have the right incentives to make sure they collaborate. We also learned that EA and knowledge management can and have been combined successfully in the past. It has happened, we're not talking about pie in the sky. And finally, the understanding that these disciplines should not be looked as technology-oriented initiatives. They enable the enterprise, but the human aspect is more important.
Our approach to research was to use academic papers found via Google and through the Penn State Library. We also solicited feedback from a local state tech council committee on business and enterprise architecture in Northern Virginia. And we also looked at the course materials to provide guidance around enterprise modeling and how this could impact or have an impact with knowledge management.